Vincenzo'S Gold Crypto Investing this August the 8th, 2025. Cryptocurrency and blockchain technology update on our way to become asset millionaires together. And I ask you to join me on my mission and your mission in our education with truth, trust, and information with gold and silver bullion and mining stocks, 401k, steady investing, cryptocurrencies, real estate, cash on the side, and CDs or bonds earning at least 3 to 5%. For strategic emergencies, adding a new asset or accumulating into an existing asset, and that's the key reason why you always have to have cash on the side, but always try to have an earning 3 to 5% in interest to make up for inflation if it's going to be sitting there parked for any amount of time for emergencies. Ether price hit $4,000. We hit that megaphone neckline resistance that we were talking about. Now it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Ethereum. XRP and the lawsuit with the judge is officially over. Like we told you 6 months ago when the ruling came out that it was over. It was just more technical jargon to get through. Can you split private keys? Crypto market edges higher on ETF. How to earn crypto, owning full Bitcoin miners. Just scanning to see crypto set for 1.25 trillion tsunami as Trump opens 401k. This is the news of the day. On Thursday, the decade-old wall separating U.S. Decades-old recruitment account from direct crypto exposure comes down, and potential capital inflow is staggering. President Donald Trump signed an executive order that will allow 401k retirement plans to broader range of alternative assets, including private equities, real estate, and for the first time, crypto assets such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. Is a triple-digit crypto flood about to hit. The news marks a sharp reversal in the Department of Labor stance after the Biden administration was overthrown to the Trump administration. Unprecedented warning urging retirement plans providers to exercise extreme caution before offering crypto and 401k plans. As Ryan Rasmussen, head of research at Bitwise Asset Manager, noted, it was the first and only time the DOL signaled out an asset class like this, not even junk bonds or ESG funds. In 2022, the Department of went further, citing that adding crypto to a 401k could be interpreted as failure to meet the required fiduciary standards or professional care. The message was unambiguous. Providers who failed to meet the standard could be held personally liable for any losses. They effectively froze the market before it began, but by mid-2025, the tide had turned. Now the executive order will not merely remove the roadblock, but actively open the gates. According to Bloomberg data by Rasmussen, the 401k market is valued at $12.5 trillion. Even a 1% allocation to this would translate to $125 billion in inflows. A 10% allocation could be $1.25 trillion. For industry observers, the implications extend beyond the one-time capital injection. Head of venture capital of RC Capital stressed that the merchants of 401ks investing create a powerful and persistent demand. In the U.S., roughly 100 million Americans have retirement investment vehicles known as 401k. Every 2 weeks, a portion of their check are rotated directly into purchasing a mixture of stocks and bonds. This is huge. 1%, 3%, or 5% could create reoccurring inflows, which is very big because you have buyers now, right? You'd have inflows of buyers. So that's something that'll be developing over the next several years, and something that we're going to be paying close attention to, because now not only that, you can get real estate assets, you can get commodity assets, gold and silver. So there's a lot of new things you can buy. There's a lot of new markets that are going to have buyers now. But if we look at the Bitcoin price and sort of where we've been at for the last 2.5 weeks, where we were seeing if this was going to form a similar consolidation, which it has now, because you could say this to this was this to this, and now you came back up, and now if you have this little consolidation, then you shoot off to the upside. We've been in this consolidation. We're waiting to see for a big breakout, and breakout to the upside, you do know you could be coming all the way up here to the 145,000, all the way potentially up to 155,000, right? And that's what we're looking at if this breaks out of this consolidation. Option two is we retest some more lower support. We come down again to the 50-day moving average, and then if we broke that, we would come to the 3-year rising channel uptrending major support level at just below the 100-day moving average at about 107,700 and change. So we're going to watch this because this is about to break out. One way or the other, this is going to break out and break out big. Now, if it broke out big to the downside, you would look at a breakthrough of the rising channel support and an attempted breakdown where you could come all the way down to the 200-day moving average. So from where you're at, that's a 13% move or $15,000 to the downside, right? To the upside, your breakout is much more substantial. You could be looking at greater than a 33% or $39,000 move to the upside, nearly $155,000. So this is very critical over the next several days to weeks, as I believe a big breakout one way or the other is imminent. And when I say imminent, I mean 14 days or less. So within the next 14 days, I think we're going to have an imminent breakout in Bitcoin. And if it breaks to the upside, that's your target between the 144 and 155,000. On a breakdown, I would be looking at $97,000, right? So that's a big move either way, but it's an imminent warning to you guys, Jabroni Killer members, my beautiful audience across the sphere. If you're new, bell notification, comment down below, and support the channel for as cheap as $3.99 a month to keep these videos coming for free and daily with the insight and education and information that you need. That's there for the retail trader as we have steady investing as we're trying to become asset millionaires. And my current portfolio with all of those assets that I own, I am currently approaching and crawling and getting very close to beating down the door of the $500,000 net worth, right? And that's what we're trying to do. And that's with cash, gold and silver bullion and mining stocks, 401k investing, cryptocurrencies and real estate, and cash on the side earning 3 to 5% for peace of mind, emergencies, and buying and accumulating new assets like I do from time to time. I just bought some more Fortuna silver because it went down. But it's very exciting that I'm getting close to $500,000 in a net worth, which is crazy. And then I might be changing jobs here coming into the springtime. So I only have a few years of doubling my income from what I'm at now. And then by the time I'm in my mid-40s, maybe calm down with the traveling, buy a house, and have 2 paid-off properties and 1 earning rent. So that's the goal, and I'll keep you updated as I need to start bringing more of that personal stuff into this because financially I have straightened my life out the last decade to decade and a half once I got to around 30, and I really made life changes with my finances first, and now as I'm getting to 40, health second by getting into a lot better shape the last 5 years. Along with the financial education and investing, it is really paying off, right? It has paid off. And I'll start showing you some of the numbers because I track it. I could actually show you something. I do track it because that's the only way. You got to track it. You can see this is side work that I do. This is why people say, oh, you're not here a lot. Well, I do a normal job, 40 hours a week, and then I do this on the side. You can see all these days that I've worked on the side. Look at all those, right? So I do that. I work multiple jobs. That's why my updates aren't all the time and they can get sporadic. But if we look at portfolio update, you can see this is what I'm envisioning with VINCENZO'S portfolio update. Target year 2033, and I did this a couple of years ago. 8/7/25 is the last time. You can see my stocks, and these are what I'm going to my sell prices. Fortuna silver 21.61, First Majestic silver 26.36, Pan America silver 75, B2 gold 21.33, Barrick gold $100, Kinross gold is 35, but I might have to adjust that upwards because I bought, and you can see my average is 522, and the price was at like $3 or $4 when I put that on there, and now we've crossed $19 at a high we haven't seen since 2009. I'm up closing on 300% in Kinross right now. So we might have to up that to $40. Rivian, $100. That one's a long-term play. Gold and silver target price. I don't know. Oh, that I put that below it. And you can see if we get all those, the target ETF, my Vincenzo'S gold, because this is minus Rivian in there. This is Vincenzo'S gold ETF and silver. We think minus that Rivian is not at $30,000 for Rivian is not in here. I think I can sell my ETF for $150,000 into the open market. Not all of my shares will be sold, but when I start unloading, or whenever that time is, and you can see we got silver bullion, but you can see the net worth. The first time I marked it down and started tracking it, $253,000 in 2023. Then we had in 24, $333,000. And then we just did it again, $430,000. So you can, with discipline, consistency, and discipline, and sacrifice, you can do it. And you got to sacrifice because you'll see people and your friends and family members buying fancy cars, buying fancy clothes, buying fancy jewelry, or going on fancy vacations, spending all their cash or financing it on a credit card. And these are things you're not going to be able to do if you're trying to grow your net worth first and then start to do those things, right? So you have to sacrifice, and it's hard, and it takes discipline, but it can be done, and I am living proof that it can be done because I don't make $150,000 a year, right? Most years I'm lucky if I make $100,000 a year. So, but you can see the megaphone neckline, what we were talking about with Ethereum. This video is way too long. I can see it's already 12:16. We've had upper resistance. I don't know why it does that. We got upper resistance. Fine, we'll just take a trend line. We got upper resistance, 1, 2, and you can see the first one was in March of 24, May of 24, December of 24, and now August of 25. So a year and a half. There's your megaphone neckline resistance, and it's called a megaphone because horizontal and then descending underneath support. It looks like a megaphone. It's narrow and wide, right? Looks like a megaphone. So if you break out of that to the upside, your upside target is $10,323. And that, I think eventually that's probably going to happen. But if you initially get rejected and you got to get some rejections, 34.98 is your major underneath support. And on an initial breakout, 48.33 is a major resistance point because that is the old all-time high, right? So if you break out of where you're at and you break out of this major resistance, 48.33 is your next move. And then the Ethereum price, which is probably the most likely solution at this point, is an 18% breakout to the upside. But if you get a harsh rejection, a major support level would be coming back down to the top part of this green zone at about a 12% move. We got to move this along now. XLM, the same thing. You had a phenomenal pump back up off of the major support on the top part of this 36 cents, which we expected. You rebroke the 43 cents, which you're above now. Now what you're going to see in the short term is you're going to probably back test. Yes, you are. This is the first time I'm looking at Ethereum or XLM today. You're going to back test this 43 cents. And the critical thing now is for this weekend in a thinly traded market, if you can hold this today and start to trade up, you can have a consistently up weekend. You need to hold, though, this 43 cents to stay this bullishness. And then this weekend, you could really attack to 55 cents. But if you struggle along this and get back below it this weekend, you might just start trading sideways, slightly above it to slightly below it all weekend, right? And it might be just a consolidation weekend. But if you got below it and got a harsh rejection, the 50-day moving average at 37 cents would be your major underneath support along with that 36 cents. But right now, it's all about the 43 cents. It's all about trying to hold this, and it's all about trying to maintain this momentum that we've had. And we're going to see if we can't do that this weekend. And old Vincenzo, that's right. Old Vincenzo, the cryptocurrency guy there for the retail trader, will be there for you all weekend. Same thing, similar, but a different price. With XRP, you can see we broke all the way back up, similar move as XLM. Now this weekend, the critical price is at 307 level. We got back above it. That's probably on this consolidation, unless something crazy in the market or crazy happens, you're probably going to have to come now and retest this 307. That's where my official call is in the short term, today or tomorrow, probably today. I think you're going to retest this 307, and just like XLM, that's going to be the critical time, the critical spot, the critical test to where if you continue this bull run and have a fantastic push off of here and then continue that run, breach that high, make a run at that 370, and then continue through there and make a run at the all-time high of 385, right? That's possible this weekend, but I think it all starts, and I think you will come down at minimum to the 307 and test that. Our option two is this was just a fake out. We come back down, jockey around a little bit, and then get back below it, jockey around. And then this weekend you're jockeying it around, potentially to maybe moving to the downside. So that would be the bearish alternative. So it's going to be very interesting with the XLM, the XRP, the Bitcoin, and Ethereum. That's right, the XLM, the XRP, the Bitcoin, and Ethereum will have an exciting weekend. To recap, on my way out of here, I think we have an immediate breakout imminent, whether that's to the upside, because when I say breakout, that can be to the downside breakout or to the upside breakout. Breakout, when I say it in text or words, does not mean up. It can mean up or down, and in this case, a breakout does mean up or down because we're at the end of this consolidation in Bitcoin, and I think it's imminent, and by imminent, I mean 2 weeks or less. Ethereum, same thing, an imminent breakout, either up or down in the next week. Either we're going to 4,800 or we're breaking down back to lower support. Same thing with XLM and XRP, but the most imminent crypto structurally is the breakout, which way Bitcoin's going to go. Stay with me. Stick with old Vincenzo. I'll keep you updated, and I appreciate your continued support. And as we grow this movement and crash that millionaire asset status together, and by my calculations, we're within 5 years of that. Peace and love.